The clock on the wall of the hospital break room ticked steadily as Lisa checked her phone for the third time in 5 minutes. Her boyfriend Alex hadn't answered her text from earlier, but she wasn't worried. He was probably busy with his family at their yearly get-together, the one she had missed 2 years in a row now. Lisa took a sip of her lukewarm coffee and glanced at her reflection in the dark window. Dark circles had formed under her eyes after the 12-hour shift she'd just finished. Her brown hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and her blue scrubs had a small stain near the pocket that she'd gotten while helping a patient earlier. Being a nurse wasn't always glamorous, but she loved it anyway. "You heading home soon?" asked Jen, another nurse who had just walked into the break room. "You look dead on your feet." "Yeah, just finishing up some paperwork," Lisa replied, stretching her arms above her head. "Then I'm off for the whole weekend." Jen raised her eyebrows. "Lucky you. Any big plans?" Lisa shook her head. "Not really. Alex is at his family reunion upstate. It's the same weekend every year, but my schedule never lines up." "That's tough," Jen said, pouring herself some coffee. "How long have you two been together now?" "Almost 2 years," Lisa smiled. "Our anniversary is next week, actually." 2 years and you haven't met his family yet? That's a bit weird, isn't it?" Jen asked, stirring sugar into her cup. "I've met his parents and his sister when they visited the city," Lisa explained. "But the extended family all lives about 3 hours away. With our schedules, it's been hard to make it work." Lisa's phone buzzed and she quickly checked it, hoping it was Alex. Instead, it was a notification from the hospital scheduling app. She tapped it open and stared at the screen in surprise. "Everything okay?" Jen asked. "More than okay," Lisa said, a slow smile spreading across her face. "My weekend shift just got canceled. They're overstaffed." "Well, there's a first time for everything," Jen laughed. "So what are you going to do with your unexpected freedom?" Lisa bit her lip, an idea forming in her mind. "I think I might surprise Alex at his family reunion." "Ooh, spontaneous. I like it," Jen grinned. "But are you sure you want to show up uninvited to a family thing?" "Alex has been asking me to meet everyone for ages," Lisa said, already scrolling through her phone to find the address Alex had shared with her months ago. "He's always saying his aunts and uncles want to meet me. This could be perfect." By the time Lisa left the hospital, her plan was fully formed. She would drive up tomorrow morning, arriving in the afternoon when the family barbecue would be in full swing according to what Alex had told her. She imagined the look of surprise on his face when she walked in, and it made her heart flutter with excitement. The next morning, Lisa woke up earlier than usual despite her exhaustion from work. The sun was barely peeking through her curtains as she brewed a strong cup of coffee and started to get ready. She stood in front of her closet, wondering what to wear to meet Alex's extended family for the first time. "Nothing too fancy," she muttered to herself, pulling out a light blue sundress that Alex had once complimented. But not too casual either. She laid the dress on her bed and went to take a shower. As the warm water ran over her tired muscles, she thought about all the stories Alex had told her about his family. There was his Uncle Pete, who apparently told the worst jokes but laughed the hardest at them. His grandmother Rose, who still made the best apple pie in the county, despite being nearly 90. His cousins who had grown up with him, playing in the creek behind the old farmhouse where the reunions were always held. Lisa had seen pictures, heard the stories, but had never been part of it herself. A small knot of nervousness formed in her stomach. What if they didn't like her? What if she was intruding on a family tradition? "Don't be silly," she told herself as she dried off and started getting dressed. "Alex has been wanting you to meet them." Once dressed, she applied some light makeup and let her hair fall in natural waves around her shoulders. Looking in the mirror, she nodded at her reflection, satisfied that she looked presentable but not like she was trying too hard. Next came the important part: what to bring. Lisa knew from Alex that food was a big part of these gatherings, with everyone contributing something. She couldn't show up empty-handed. After a quick trip to her favorite bakery, she returned with a box of assorted pastries that she knew Alex loved, especially the chocolate croissants. As she packed an overnight bag, just in case the visit extended into the evening and Alex wanted her to stay, Lisa's phone rang. It was her mom. "Hey, Mom," she answered, tucking the phone between her ear and shoulder as she continued packing. "Hi, sweetie. Just checking in. Aren't you working this weekend?" "My shift got canceled," Lisa explained, zipping up her bag. "So I'm going to surprise Alex at his family reunion." There was a pause on the other end. Is that a good idea? Showing up unannounced? Why does everyone keep asking me that? Lisa sighed. Yes, it's a good idea. Alex has been wanting me to meet everyone for ages. I'm just saying family gatherings can be complicated. Maybe you should call first? That would ruin the surprise, Lisa said, checking her watch. Look, Mom, I need to get going if I want to beat the traffic. After promising to call her mom later and let her know how it went, Lisa grabbed her bags, the box of pastries, and headed out to her car. The mid-June morning was already warm, promising a beautiful day ahead. As she put the address into her GPS, a flutter of excitement and nervousness danced in her stomach. The drive took her out of the city, through suburbs that gradually gave way to more rural landscapes. Rolling hills, small farms, and patches of forest passed by her windows as she sang along to her favorite playlist. 3 hours felt long when she was driving alone, but the scenery was beautiful, and her mind was busy imagining the reunion ahead. She thought about all the questions Alex's family might ask her. About her job, her family, how she and Alex met. That memory made her smile. They had both reached for the same book at a small bookstore downtown. Such a cliché, but it had happened exactly like that. They had laughed about it, then ended up getting coffee and talking for hours. 2 years later, here they were, still going strong despite their hectic schedules. As the GPS announced that she was getting closer to her destination, Lisa's hands gripped the steering wheel a little tighter. The road had become narrower, winding through tall trees that cast dappled shadows on the pavement. She slowed down, not wanting to miss the turn. In 500 feet, turn right onto Oakwood Lane, the GPS announced. Lisa made the turn onto a gravel road that bumped beneath her tires. Through breaks in the trees, she caught glimpses of open fields and, in the distance, what looked like a large farmhouse. Her heart began to beat faster. As she approached, she could see cars parked along the side of the road leading up to the house. There were at least a dozen vehicles, sedans, pickup trucks, a couple of minivans. The family reunion was clearly well attended. Lisa parked her car at the end of the line and took a deep breath. She checked her appearance one last time in the rearview mirror, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, and reached for the box of pastries. Okay, she whispered to herself. Here goes nothing. The gravel crunched under her sandals as she walked toward the farmhouse. It was even more charming up close. White clapboard with green shutters, a wide porch wrapping around the front, hanging baskets of flowers adding splashes of color. She could hear voices and laughter coming from somewhere behind the house. For a moment, Lisa hesitated at the bottom of the porch steps. Should she have called first? What if this was a mistake? But then she thought of Alex's face when he saw her, how his eyes would light up with surprise and happiness. That image gave her the courage to climb the steps and approach the front door. She knocked, her heart pounding in her chest. No answer. She knocked again, a little louder this time. Still nothing. The voices seemed to be coming from the backyard, so perhaps no one could hear her. After a moment's hesitation, Lisa decided to make her way around the house. She followed a stone path that led through a garden of vibrant summer flowers. The voices grew louder as she approached the back of the house. She could smell barbecue and hear music playing. As she rounded the corner, Lisa saw a large backyard filled with people. Tables had been set up under oak trees, covered with colorful cloths and loaded with food. Children ran playing between groups of adults who stood chatting or sat in lawn chairs. A man was grilling at a large barbecue setup, surrounded by a small crowd. Lisa scanned the gathering for Alex's familiar face but couldn't spot him. She stood at the edge of the yard, suddenly feeling very out of place. No one had noticed her yet, and she clutched the pastry box like a shield in front of her. "Can I help you?" a woman's voice asked. Lisa turned to see an older woman with kind eyes and gray-streaked hair pulled back in a ponytail. There was something familiar about her face, the same shape of the eyes as Alex. "Hi," Lisa said, her voice coming out higher than she intended. "I'm Lisa, Alex's girlfriend. I wanted to surprise him." The older woman's eyes widened with recognition. "Lisa? Alex's Lisa?" Lisa nodded, a smile breaking across her face. "Yes, that's me."
"Well, I'll be."
The woman's face lit up, and she pulled Lisa into an unexpected hug. "I'm Carol, Alex's mother. We've talked on the phone, but it's so wonderful to finally meet you in person." Lisa returned the hug, relief washing over her. At least Alex's mother seemed happy to see her. When they pulled apart, Carol looked at her with a slightly puzzled expression. But honey, what are you doing here? Did Alex know you were coming? No, it's a surprise, Lisa explained, holding up the box of pastries. My weekend shift got canceled, so I thought I'd finally meet everyone Alex has told me so much about. Carol's expression changed subtly. Something flickered across her face. Concern? Confusion? It was gone so quickly Lisa couldn't be sure. That's very sweet of you, Carol said, taking Lisa's arm. Come on, let me introduce you to everyone. As they walked toward the gathering, Lisa scanned the crowd again for Alex. Where is he? I can't wait to see his face when he sees me. Carol slowed her steps. Oh, Lisa. She turned to face her. Alex isn't here. Lisa blinked, not understanding. What do you mean? Isn't this the family reunion? It is, yes. But Alex left yesterday. He said he needed to get back to the city for something important. Carol watched Lisa's face carefully. He said he had plans with you. The pastry box suddenly felt heavy in Lisa's hands. With me, but I was supposed to be working. I only found out yesterday that my shift was canceled. An uncomfortable silence fell between them. Lisa's mind raced, trying to make sense of the situation. Had Alex lied to his family about where he was going? Or was there some misunderstanding? Maybe he meant tomorrow? Lisa suggested. Our anniversary is coming up next week. Maybe he's planning something? Carol nodded, but her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. That must be it. You know how Alex is with dates sometimes. Before Lisa could respond, they were approached by a tall man with salt and pepper hair, and Alex's same crooked smile. So this is the famous Lisa we've heard so much about, he boomed, extending his hand. I'm Robert, Alex's dad. Welcome to the madhouse. Lisa shook his hand, trying to maintain her smile despite the confusion swirling inside her. Thank you for having me, even though it's a surprise visit. Any girlfriend of Alex's who can put up with him for 2 years deserves a medal, not just a barbecue, Robert joked. Come on, let me introduce you to everyone. They've all been dying to meet you. The next hour passed in a blur of names, faces, and stories. Alex's Uncle Pete was exactly as Lisa had imagined him. A round-faced man with a booming laugh who told terrible jokes. His grandmother Rose sat regally in a cushioned chair under an oak tree, her white hair gleaming in the sunlight. She had patted the spot next to her when Lisa was introduced, asking questions about her nursing career and nodding approvingly at her answers. Everyone was kind, welcoming her as if they'd been expecting her all along. But Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Several times she caught family members exchanging glances when they thought she wasn't looking. And whenever she mentioned Alex, there was always a slight pause before anyone responded. As she helped Carol set out more food on one of the tables, Lisa's phone buzzed in her pocket. She quickly pulled it out, hoping it might be Alex, but it was a notification from a social media app. One of her friends had tagged her in a photo from last year. Disappointed, she slipped the phone back into her pocket. Everything okay? Carol asked, arranging a plate of deviled eggs. Yes, just a notification, Lisa replied. I was hoping it might be Alex. I tried texting him earlier, but he hasn't responded. Carol nodded. Reception can be spotty in the city sometimes. Lisa frowned slightly. In the city? I thought the bad reception was out here in the countryside. Oh yes, of course, Carol said quickly. I meant depending on where he is in the city. Before Lisa could question this further, Alex's cousin Tina approached them. She was about Lisa's age, with her dark hair pulled into a stylish braid. Hey Lisa, Grandma Rose wants you to try her famous apple pie. And trust me, you don't want to keep her waiting, Tina said with a grin. As Lisa followed Tina across the lawn, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a different notification. A friend had tagged a photo of someone at a concert venue downtown. Lisa almost put her phone away without looking at it, but something made her stop and check. The photo showed a crowded venue, colorful lights illuminating the stage. And there in the foreground was Alex. His arm was around a woman Lisa had never seen before, a petite blonde who was smiling up at him. The timestamp showed it had been posted just 30 minutes ago. Lisa froze, her feet suddenly rooted to the spot. Tina, noticing she wasn't following, turned back. Everything okay? Lisa couldn't find her voice. She turned the phone screen toward Tina, who squinted at it, then looked up with wide eyes. Oh, was all she said. That single syllable confirmed what Lisa already knew. This wasn't a misunderstanding or an old photo. Alex had lied about where he was and to whom he was with. I should go, Lisa said, her voice sounding distant to her own ears. This was a mistake. Wait, Tina grabbed her arm gently. Don't leave like this. At least talk to my aunt and uncle first. Talk to us about what? Carol had approached from behind, carrying a pitcher of lemonade. She looked from Tina's concerned face to Lisa's pale one, and something in her expression shifted. What's happened? Lisa silently held out her phone. Carol put down the pitcher on a nearby table and took the phone, studying the screen. Her lips pressed into a thin line. I see, she said, finally handing the phone back. Lisa, come with me. Let's talk somewhere quiet. Lisa followed Carol numbly toward the house, aware of curious glances from other family members as they passed. Her mind was racing with questions and possibilities, none of them good. Had Alex been cheating on her all this time? Was that why he'd never brought her to meet his extended family? Carol led her into a cool, dimly lit kitchen that smelled of cinnamon and coffee. The house was old, but well maintained, with wooden beams crossing the ceiling and a large farmhouse sink under the window. In any other circumstance, Lisa would have loved to see where Alex had spent his childhood summers. Sit down, dear, Carol said, pulling out a chair at the kitchen table. Can I get you some water? Lisa shook her head. I just need to understand what's going on. Did you know? About whoever she is? Carol sighed heavily as she sat across from Lisa. I don't know who that woman is, I swear. But I did know Alex wasn't being entirely truthful about where he was going when he left yesterday. What did he tell you? He said he needed to get back to the city for plans with you. Something about your anniversary coming up. When I asked why you weren't coming to the reunion this year either, he said you were working. Lisa felt a cold knot forming in her stomach, so he used me as an excuse to leave early. I didn't question it because it seemed reasonable, Carol continued. He's always talking about how hard you work and how difficult it is to coordinate your schedules. Lisa's eyes burned with unshed tears. 2 years of her life, and this was how it ended? Sitting in her boyfriend's family's kitchen after discovering his betrayal through a social media post. I should never have come here, she whispered, more to herself than to Carol. I'm glad you did, Carol said firmly, reaching across to take Lisa's hand. You seem like a wonderful young woman, and now at least you know the truth. Whatever that truth may be. Lisa looked up. What do you mean? I mean, don't jump to conclusions. That photo, it doesn't look good, I admit. But I know my son. He's not perfect, but he's not the type to cheat either. Then how do you explain that? Lisa gestured toward her phone. Carol shook her head. I can't. That's something you need to ask Alex directly. From outside came the sound of laughter and music. The reunion was continuing, unaware of the drama unfolding in the kitchen. Lisa felt incredibly out of place. I should go, she said, standing up. Thank you for being so kind, but I don't belong here. Where will you go? It's a long drive back to the city. Lisa hadn't thought that far ahead. The idea of driving 3 hours in her current emotional state wasn't appealing, but neither was staying here, surrounded by Alex's family while he was off with someone else. There's a motel about 20 minutes from here, Carol suggested gently. Why don't you stay there tonight? Get some rest, clear your head, then you can decide what to do tomorrow. It was a reasonable suggestion. Lisa nodded slowly. I'll get you the address, Carol said, pulling out her phone. And Lisa? For what it's worth, I really am sorry about all this. No matter what's going on with Alex, you deserve better than finding out this way. As Carol wrote down the motel information, Lisa's phone buzzed once more. With a sense of dread, she checked it. It was Alex. A text message that read, Hey babe, how's your shift going? Miss you. Lisa stared at the screen, a strange calmness washing over her. Whatever the truth was, she was going to find out. Directly from Alex himself. Lisa stared at the peeling wallpaper of the roadside motel room, her mind replaying the events of the day like a broken record. The Pineview Motel wasn't much to look at. A single bed with a faded floral comforter, a small TV that probably still had actual knobs, and a bathroom with flickering fluorescent lights. But it was clean, and more importantly, it gave her space to think. She hadn't answered Alex's text. What would she even say? I know you're lying because I'm actually with your family right now. And oh, I saw that photo of you with another woman. No, this wasn't a conversation to have over text. Some things needed to be said face to face. Lisa sat cross-legged on the bed, scrolling through her phone. She'd looked at the concert photo at least a dozen times now, studying the woman's face, the way Alex had his arm around her shoulders. They looked comfortable together, like they'd known each other for a while. Had this been going on throughout their relationship? Was every late night at work actually spent with this woman? A memory surfaced, Alex canceling their dinner plans last month because of a work emergency. He'd been distant that week, checking his phone more often than usual. Lisa had brushed it off as stress, but now she wondered if there had been signs all along that she'd been too trusting to see. Her phone buzzed again, another text from Alex. "Everything okay? You usually text back by now. Hope your shift isn't too crazy." Lisa tossed the phone onto the bed and walked to the window, pulling back the thin curtain to look out at the neon sign casting a red glow over the parking lot. Part of her wanted to call him out right now to demand answers. Another part was scared of what those answers might be. After a fitful night of sleep, Lisa woke to sunlight streaming through the gap in the curtains. For a blissful moment, she forgot where she was and why. Then reality crashed back and the knot in her stomach tightened. She showered, the lukewarm water doing little to wash away her anxiety, then checked out of the motel. The elderly man at the front desk gave her a sympathetic look, as if he could tell she was going through something difficult. Maybe her red-rimmed eyes gave her away. "There's a diner down the road that makes a good breakfast," he offered as he handed back her credit card. "Might do you good to eat something before you hit the road." Lisa nodded gratefully. "Thank you." The diner was a small, retro place with checkerboard floors and red vinyl booths. Lisa slid into a booth by the window and ordered coffee and toast, though she wasn't sure she could eat. Her phone showed 3 missed calls from Alex and a series of increasingly concerned texts. As she sipped her coffee, Lisa thought about what she would say when she saw him. Should she be angry, calm? Should she give him a chance to explain? Or was the photo explanation enough? A middle-aged waitress with kind eyes refilled her coffee. "You look like you're carrying the weight of the world, honey. Anything I can help with?" Lisa managed a small smile. "Just relationship troubles." The waitress nodded knowingly. "Those are the worst kind. My husband and I have been together 30 years, and let me tell you, it hasn't all been smooth sailing." She leaned in conspiratorially. "The secret is to talk it out. Even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. What if talking doesn't fix it?" The waitress straightened up. "Then at least you know you tried. That counts for something." Lisa pondered this advice as she forced down a few bites of toast. Talk it out. Get the truth. Then decide. It seemed simple in theory, but her churning stomach told a different story. By mid-morning, Lisa was back on the road to the city. The drive that had felt so full of excitement yesterday now seemed endless and dreary. She turned on the radio, needing something to drown out her thoughts, but every love song felt like a personal attack. She hadn't told Alex she was coming. Part of her wondered if she should go to his apartment right away, catch him off guard. But what if the woman from the photo was there? The thought made her sick. Instead, Lisa decided to text him once she reached the city limits. "Are you home? We need to talk." His reply came almost instantly. "Yes, is everything okay? I've been worried." "I'll be there in 20 minutes, she typed back, then turned off her phone. Alex lived in a converted warehouse in the arts district, all exposed brick and industrial windows. Usually Lisa loved the character of the building, but today it just felt cold and unwelcoming as she parked her car and made her way to the elevator. Her heart hammered in her chest as she approached his door. Before she could knock, it swung open, revealing Alex in sweatpants and a faded t-shirt, his dark hair rumpled as if he'd been running his hands through it repeatedly. "Lisa?" His face registered shock, then confusion. I thought you were at work?" "Can I come in?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. "Of course." He stepped back, eyes scanning her face worriedly. "What's going on? Are you okay?" Lisa walked into the familiar space of his loft apartment, noticing the coffee mug on the counter, the laptop open on the couch. Normal, everyday things that suddenly seemed like they belonged to a stranger. "Where were you yesterday?" she asked, turning to face him. Alex blinked. "What do you mean?" "I was here working on some designs for the Thompson project. Before that." "Where were you Friday night?" A flicker of something, guilt, crossed his face. "I was at my family's reunion upstate." "You know that. I came back early because I had a deadline." "That's not what your mom told me." Alex went very still. "My mom? What are you talking about?" Lisa pulled out her phone and opened the photo of him at the concert. She held it up so he could see. "You told them you were coming back early for plans with me. But I was at work. Or at least you thought I was." The color drained from Alex's face as he looked from the phone to Lisa, You went to the reunion? How? Why? My shift got canceled. I thought I'd surprise you. Lisa fought to keep her voice from breaking. Turns out I was the one who got surprised. Alex sank onto the couch, running his hands through his hair. Lisa, this isn't— Who is she? Lisa cut him off, surprised by the sharpness in her voice. How long has this been going on? What? No. Alex looked up, his expression almost frantic. You think I'm cheating on you? With Vanessa? God, no. Vanessa, Lisa repeated. The name felt like a slap. The faceless woman in the photo now had a name. So you admit you were with her instead of where you said you'd be? Yes, I was with her, but not like that. Alex stood up, taking a step toward Lisa, who instinctively backed away. He stopped, hurt flashing across his face. Vanessa is my music teacher. Of all the things Lisa had expected him to say, this wasn't even on the list. You're what? My music teacher, Alex repeated. I've been taking guitar lessons for the past 3 months. Lisa stared at him. Since when do you play guitar? Since I started learning as a surprise for you. Alex gestured toward his bedroom. The guitar is hidden in my closet. I wanted to learn to play that song you love, the one that was playing the first time we went dancing. Lisa remembered the song, a slow, romantic ballad that had been playing in the small jazz club where they'd had their third date. She'd mentioned once offhandedly how much she loved it and wished someone would play it just for her someday. You've been learning to play that for me? She asked, skepticism still evident in her voice. Then why lie about where you were yesterday? Why not just tell me? Alex sighed, sitting back down on the couch. Because I'm not very good yet, and I wanted it to be perfect for our anniversary. Vanessa got tickets to that band because she thought hearing them live would help me understand the feeling of the song better. I didn't tell you because I'm a terrible liar, and I was afraid I'd give away the surprise. So you lied to your entire family instead? Made them think you were with me? I know it was stupid, Alex admitted. But they know how much I wanted to make this anniversary special for you. I was afraid if I told them the real reason, someone might accidentally mention it to you if you called while I was gone. Lisa's mind was spinning. Could this actually be true? It seemed so far-fetched, and yet it was exactly the kind of thoughtful gesture Alex would make. Prove it, she said suddenly. What? Prove you've been taking lessons. Show me the guitar. Play something. Alex hesitated for only a moment before standing up. Okay, but remember, I'm still learning. He disappeared into the bedroom and returned moments later carrying a guitar case. He set it on the coffee table and opened it, revealing a beautiful acoustic guitar. It's secondhand, he explained, lifting it carefully. I couldn't afford a new one with the lessons too. Lisa watched as he positioned his fingers on the fretboard, his movements awkward but deliberate. He began to strum, and though the chords were simple and his timing was off, she recognized the melody immediately, the beginning notes of their song. He played for about 30 seconds before hitting a wrong note and stopping, a blush spreading across his cheeks. I told you I'm not very good yet. I was planning to practice every day until next week, so I could play the whole song for you on our anniversary. Lisa felt tears welling up in her eyes, but for an entirely different reason now. Relief, confusion, and a wave of shame for having doubted him all mingled together. I don't understand, she said quietly. The way your family acted when I showed up. They seemed to know something was wrong. Alex set the guitar down. They probably thought it was weird that you showed up when I'd told them we had plans in the city. They didn't want to get in the middle of whatever was going on between us. He paused, looking at her intently. You really thought I was cheating on you? Lisa sank onto the couch beside him, suddenly exhausted. What was I supposed to think? You lied about where you were. I saw that photo of you with your arm around another woman. Vanessa is married with 3 kids, Alex said gently. Her husband was taking the picture. I put my arm around her because she was excited about the band. They're some of her favorites. Oh, it was all Lisa could manage to say, as the events of the past 24 hours rearranged themselves in her mind. They sat in silence for a long moment, the guitar resting between them like a physical manifestation of the truth. Lisa's mind was still trying to process everything. The relief that Alex wasn't cheating was battling with embarrassment over her accusations and lingering hurt that he'd lied at all, even for a sweet reason. I feel so stupid, she finally said, staring down at her hands. Don't. Alex reached over and took her hand. I'm the one who messed up. I should have just told you I was working on a surprise instead of creating this whole complicated lie. But I jumped to the worst conclusion, Lisa said. I saw one photo and decided you were cheating without even talking to you first. To be fair, it did look bad, Alex admitted. And I did lie about where I was. Lisa looked up at him, really studying his face, the dark circles under his eyes, the worry lines creasing his forehead. He looked as exhausted as she felt. Why did you really leave the reunion early? She asked. Was it just for the concert? Alex shook his head. No, that was just lucky timing. I left because... He hesitated, looking slightly embarrassed. Because I missed you. Everyone was there with their partners, and it just made me wish you were there too. I kept thinking about our anniversary coming up, and I realized I was running out of time to practice the song. Lisa felt a lump forming in her throat. All this time I've been feeling guilty about missing your family events because of work, and you left early because you missed me. Pretty much, Alex said with a small smile. Pretty pathetic, huh? No, Lisa squeezed his hand. It's actually really sweet. Another silence fell between them, but this one felt different. Less tense, more thoughtful. So what now? Alex finally asked. Are we okay? Lisa took a deep breath. Were they okay? The last 24 hours had been an emotional roller coaster. She'd gone from excitement to confusion to heartbreak to relief, all because of poor communication. I think we need to talk about some things, she said carefully. This whole situation happened because we weren't being completely honest with each other. You lied about where you were, and I didn't tell you I was coming to surprise you. Alex nodded slowly. You're right. We both thought we were doing something nice, but it backfired because we weren't communicating. Exactly, Lisa said. And it's not just this weekend. I've been feeling like we've been missing each other lately. Our schedules are so different, and when we do have time together, we're both so tired. I've felt it too, Alex admitted. That's part of why I wanted to do something special for our anniversary. I thought it might help us reconnect. Lisa felt a surge of affection for him. Despite his misguided approach, his heart had been in the right place. I think we need to make some changes, she said. Be more intentional about our time together. And more honest, even if it means ruining a surprise. Agreed, Alex said firmly. No more lies, even well-intentioned ones. He paused, then added hesitantly, There's something else we need to talk about, though. What's that? My family, Alex said. They met you yesterday and I wasn't even there. And they probably think we're having relationship problems now. Lisa groaned, covering her face with her hands. Oh God, your mom was so nice to me, even when she thought I might be there to catch you cheating or something. And your grandmother. She held my hand and told me I seemed like a keeper. This is so embarrassing. Alex couldn't help but laugh. Wait, you met Grandma Rose? What did she think of you? She seemed to approve, Lisa said, dropping her hands. At least until the whole photo revelation. We should call them, Alex suggested. Let them know everything's okay, or... He hesitated, then continued. We could drive back up there today. The reunion goes through tomorrow. We could still catch the Sunday barbecue. Lisa looked at him in surprise. You want to go back? After all this drama? I think it would be good, Alex said. For one thing, they should see us together, happy. For another, it would give you a chance to meet everyone properly. And honestly, I owe them an apology for lying. Lisa considered this. The idea of facing Alex's family again after everything that had happened was intimidating. But it also felt like the right thing to do, to close this chapter properly and start fresh. Okay, she agreed. Let's do it. They spent the next hour packing and planning. Alex insisted on bringing his guitar, saying he could practice in the car. Lisa called the hospital to confirm she was still off for the rest of the weekend. By noon, they were back on the road, heading upstate once more. This time, the drive felt different. Instead of nervous anticipation, Lisa felt a mixture of embarrassment and determination. They talked more openly than they had in months, discussing everything from their work schedules to future plans. I've been thinking about switching to day shifts, Lisa admitted as they passed through the same rolling countryside she'd driven through alone just a day before. The night shift pays better, but it makes it hard for us to see each other. You'd do that? Alex asked, glancing over at her from the driver's seat. I would, she said. After this weekend, I realized we need to prioritize our relationship more. Both of us. Alex reached across and squeezed her hand. I've been thinking about that too. Maybe I could adjust my freelance schedule. Be more selective about projects so I'm not always on deadline. By the time they pulled up to the farmhouse again, Lisa felt calmer. Cars still lined the driveway, though fewer than the day before. The sound of laughter and conversation drifted from the backyard, just as it had when she'd arrived alone. "Ready?" Alex asked, turning off the engine. Lisa nodded. "As I'll ever be." They walked hand in hand around the side of the house. As they approached the backyard, Alex's mother spotted them first. Her eyes widened and she nudged her husband, who looked up and broke into a broad smile. "Alex! Lisa, you came back!" Carol hurried over to them, her expression a mix of surprise and relief. "We figured we had some explaining to do," Alex said, putting his arm around Lisa's waist. "So you two worked things out?" Robert asked, looking between them. "There was nothing to work out," Lisa said quickly. "It was all a misunderstanding." Carol raised an eyebrow. "A misunderstanding involving a concert and a mysterious blonde woman?" Alex laughed nervously. "About that. Vanessa is my guitar teacher. I've been taking lessons as a surprise for Lisa for our anniversary." "A surprise?" Carol repeated, her expression softening. "That's why I left early," Alex explained. "I wasn't getting enough practice time and I wanted to perfect this song before our anniversary next week. I lied about having plans with Lisa because I didn't want anyone accidentally mentioning the guitar lessons to her." "So the blonde woman?" Robert asked. "Is my married teacher who was excited about the band," Alex finished. "Nothing more." Carol let out a long breath. "Well, I've never been so happy to hear my son was lying to me." She turned to Lisa with an apologetic smile. "And I'm sorry for the uncomfortable position you were put in yesterday. We didn't know what to think." "It's okay," Lisa assured her. "I jumped to conclusions too. The important thing," Alex said, "is that we're here now, together, and I'd really like to properly introduce my girlfriend to everyone." "Of course." Carol linked her arm through Lisa's. "Let's start with Grandma Rose. She's been asking about you all day." As they walked toward the gathering, where Alex's grandmother sat regally under the same oak tree, Lisa felt a weight lifting from her shoulders. Yesterday she'd felt like an intruder in this family gathering. Today, with Alex by her side, she felt like she might eventually belong. "There's my grandson," Rose called out as they approached. "And you brought back the pretty nurse." "Good boy." Alex laughed, bending down to kiss his grandmother's cheek. "Grandma, this is Lisa, my girlfriend." "We met yesterday," Rose said, with a wink at Lisa, "when we all thought you might be up to no good." "Glad to see that's not the case." "Definitely not," Alex assured her. "In fact," he glanced at Lisa, then continued, "I've been learning to play her favorite song on the guitar." "As a surprise, is that so?" Rose's eyes twinkled. "Well, don't keep us in suspense." "Let's hear it." Alex's face flushed. "Oh, I'm not very good yet. I was planning to practice more before—" "Nonsense," Rose cut him off. "No time like the present. Someone get the boy his guitar from the car." Before Alex could protest further, his cousin Tina was dispatched to retrieve the guitar. Soon a small crowd had gathered around them, curious about the impromptu performance. "You don't have to do this," Lisa whispered to Alex as he reluctantly took the guitar from Tina. "No, your grandmother's right," Alex replied with a nervous smile. "No time like the present." As Alex began to play, his fingers fumbling slightly over the strings, Lisa felt tears welling up in her eyes again. The melody was unmistakable, even with the occasional wrong note. It was their song, played imperfectly but with so much heart. When he finished, the family applauded enthusiastically. Lisa leaned in and kissed him softly. "That was beautiful," she whispered against his lips. "Even the wrong notes?" he asked with a smile. "Especially the wrong notes," she replied. They made it real. 3 months later, the farmhouse looked different. Fairy lights hung from the trees, casting a warm glow over the backyard. White folding chairs were arranged in neat rows, and a small wooden arch decorated with wildflowers stood at the front. It wasn't Lisa and Alex's wedding, that would come later perhaps, but another celebration altogether. "Are you sure the lights are even?" Alex called from the top of a ladder, stringing the last strand between 2 oak trees. "A little higher on the left," Lisa directed, stepping back to get a better view. "Perfect." Today was Alex's parents' 30th wedding anniversary, and the whole family had gathered to celebrate. But unlike the family reunion 3 months ago, this time Lisa wasn't a surprise guest. She had helped plan the event, spending the last few weeks coordinating with Alex's sister Kelly over the phone, deciding on decorations, and helping Carol put together a photo album spanning 3 decades of marriage. "I still can't believe we pulled this off," Kelly said, joining Lisa with a clipboard in hand. "Mom and Dad had no idea we were planning anything beyond a simple dinner." "They deserve it," Lisa replied, watching as Carol and Robert chatted with guests, their hands intertwined as naturally as breathing. 30 years is quite an achievement. Speaking of achievements, Kelly nudged Lisa with a smile. "Alex told me you got the day shift." Lisa nodded, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. "I start next month. No more night shifts, no more missing important events, and no more surprise visits," Kelly teased. "Those two," Lisa laughed, remembering the chaos her last surprise had caused. "I think we've had enough surprises to last us a while." After that weekend at the family reunion, Lisa and Alex had returned to the city with a new commitment to making their relationship work. They'd established a weekly date night that was sacred, no matter how busy they got. They'd started a shared calendar to keep track of each other's schedules. And most importantly, they'd promised to be honest with each other even when it was difficult. The changes hadn't always been easy. Lisa had to fight for the day shift, taking on extra responsibilities to prove she deserved it. Alex had turned down a few high-paying projects that would have required all-nighters. But the effort had been worth it. For the first time in their relationship, they felt truly in sync. "There you are," Alex said, appearing beside Lisa with 2 glasses of lemonade. "My dad's looking for us. I think they're almost ready to start." Lisa took a glass gratefully. The late afternoon sun was warm, and she'd been running around all day helping with last-minute preparations. "Are you ready for your performance?" she asked, linking her arm through his. Alex nodded, though she could feel the slight tension in his muscles. "As ready as I'll ever be." In the months since the reunion, Alex had continued his guitar lessons. What had started as a simple anniversary surprise had turned into a genuine passion. He practiced almost every day, his skills improving steadily. Today he was planning to play a song for his parents as part of the ceremony, the song that had played at their wedding 30 years ago. They made their way to the front of the gathering, where Robert and Carol were now standing under the flowered arch. Family members and close friends filled the chairs, their faces expectant and happy. Kelly, who was acting as the unofficial master of ceremonies, stepped forward to welcome everyone. "We're here today to celebrate something beautiful and rare. 30 years of love, partnership, and friendship between my parents, Robert and Carol. They've shown us what it means to choose each other day after day, through good times and challenging ones." Lisa watched as Robert squeezed Carol's hand, their eyes meeting in a look that spoke volumes. She wondered if she and Alex would have that same quiet understanding after 30 years together. "Before we continue," Kelly said, "their son Alex has prepared something special." Alex gave Lisa's hand a quick squeeze before stepping forward with his guitar. He looked nervous but determined as he adjusted the microphone. "Mom, Dad," he began, "you've always been my example of what love should look like. Not perfect but real. Not always easy but always worth it." He glanced at Lisa with a small smile before continuing. "I've recently learned how important honest communication is in a relationship, thanks to a certain misunderstanding that turned into one of the best things that could have happened to us." There were knowing chuckles from the family, members who had witnessed the drama at the reunion. "So today, I want to play the song that you danced to at your wedding. The song that, according to family legend, was playing the night you met at that little jazz club downtown." As Alex began to play, Lisa felt a wave of pride wash over her. His fingers moved confidently over the strings now, the melody flowing smooth and clear. The months of practice were evident in every note. When he began to sing, his voice soft but steady, Carol brought her hands to her heart, tears glistening in her eyes. Lisa found herself blinking back tears too, remembering how Alex had fumbled through this same song 3 months ago. Nervous and unprepared but willing to try anyway. Now here he was, playing it beautifully for his parents, his voice gaining confidence with each verse. When he finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the gathering. Robert embraced his son fiercely, whispering something in his ear that made Alex smile. Carol hugged him next, kissing his cheek and wiping away tears. The ceremony continued with heartfelt speeches from family and friends, old stories that made everyone laugh, and a renewal of vows that had Carol and Robert looking at each other as if they were 20 years old again. As the formal part ended and people began to mingle, enjoying the food and drinks set out on long tables, Lisa found herself drawn to the edge of the yard, where Grandma Rose sat watching the festivities with a contented smile. "May I join you?" Lisa asked. "Please do." Rose patted the chair beside her. "These old eyes have seen a lot of love stories, but they never get tired of watching a new one unfold." Lisa sat down, following Rose's gaze to where Alex was chatting with his father and uncle, his guitar slung over his back. "He's a good boy," Rose said, "just like his grandfather was. A bit stubborn sometimes, but his heart's in the right place." "Yes, it is," Lisa agreed softly. Rose turned to her with knowing eyes. "And how are you two doing after that dramatic weekend?" "Really doing, not just the polite answer." Lisa smiled, appreciating the older woman's directness. "We're doing better than before, actually. That weekend forced us to talk about things we'd been avoiding. It made us realize we needed to make some changes if we wanted our relationship to work long-term." "That's how it goes sometimes," Rose nodded. "The rough patches either break you apart or bind you tighter together." She reached over and patted Lisa's hand. "I'm glad it was the latter for you two." "Me too," Lisa said, watching as Alex looked up and caught her eye across the yard, his face breaking into a warm smile. Later that evening, as fairy lights twinkled overhead and music played softly from speakers hidden in the trees, Alex and Lisa swayed together on the makeshift dance floor. Other couples moved around them, Carol and Robert, Kelly and her husband, various aunts and uncles. But in that moment, it felt like they were alone. "What are you thinking about?" Alex asked, his hand warm against the small of her back. "The last time we were here," Lisa replied honestly. "How differently things could have turned out." "I still feel terrible about that," Alex said. "Making you think even for a moment." "Don't," Lisa cut him off gently. "It led us here, didn't it? And I wouldn't change where we are now." Alex pulled her closer. "Neither would I." Over his shoulder, Lisa could see Carol and Robert still dancing, their movements perfectly in sync after 30 years together. They made it look easy, though Lisa knew it couldn't have been. 30 years of choosing each other day after day. 30 years of honest conversations, of compromises, of showing up even when it was hard. "Do you think we'll have that someday?" she asked quietly, nodding toward his parents. Alex followed her gaze and smiled. "I think we're already on our way." As the night deepened and stars appeared overhead, the party showed no signs of ending. Stories were shared, memories recalled, promises made for the future. Lisa found herself at the center of it all, no longer an outsider but part of this warm, sometimes messy, always loving family. When she had set out to surprise Alex that day 3 months ago, she could never have imagined how things would unfold. What had started as a simple gesture had become a turning point in their relationship, forcing them to confront issues they'd been ignoring and making them stronger for it. Sometimes, Lisa thought as Alex pulled her back onto the dance floor for one more song, the best surprises weren't the ones you planned, but the ones life threw at you when you least expected them, the ones that tested you, challenged you, and ultimately helped you grow. And as she rested her head on Alex's shoulder, listening to him hum along to the music, she was thankful for every unexpected turn that had led them here. To this moment, to this night, to this love that felt more real and more possible than ever before.